Video Preview.
I'm Andy Gray, I'm the Communications Manager at Codemasters. I look after F1 2010. The licence is huge and the sport is massive, the fan base is huge, but the titles have never perhaps performed as they should be. So a lot of work went into focus group testing and just talking to people, especially in the States, about their perception of F1 as a sport and also as a game. And we got some really interesting feedback from that about what's been right and what's been wrong about previous F1 games. On the back of all this research, we went away and we came up with this mantra of be the driver, live the life. So be the driver stuff kind of speaks for itself, that it's all the on-track stuff, it's all the official licence, so the 24 licensed drivers, 12 licensed teams, 19 tracks. But then we've got this live the life stuff, so it's the taking you behind the scenes of F1 into the paddock, so you can get to see, like, talking to the press, interacting with them, get to see some of the glamour, the girls, all the other drivers as well, walking around the pit lane. And the way that you interact with that is also going to affect your career and the way that you're seen in F1. When you first boot the game, you're taken into a press conference that introduces you to the world of F1. So it's basic information like your name, where you're from, all that kind of thing. But then we also drill down a little bit so we can shape your game experience without you having to go into loads of menus. The idea being that, for example, take two real extremes. It's like, I'm really new to F1, I want someone to kind of hold my hand, help me through, explain things for me. Or maybe you're like a massive F1 fan, you've been playing F1 games for years, you want no driving assist, you want to do 100% races, you want to do all the practice, you want to do all the qualifying. And then also the extremes in the middle. Then you can also set your career length in the same time, so you can have a 3, a 5 or a 7-year career. The decisions you make based upon your difficulty setting and the length of your career will then shape what teams you can join at the start of the game. So if you're going for a really long career with full simulation experience, it will be the new teams that are open to you. So the guys that are predominantly going to be at the back of the grid, and then it's about progressing yourself or the team and bringing them on over the course of your career to be a winning team. Alternatively, if you just want to have a 3-year blast around all the tracks, you can join a pretty high-ranking team that you could potentially win races with and soon get to one of the big boys like Ferrari, McLaren, Red Bull. One of the major rivalries in F1 is always with your teammate. He's the guy that's got, in theory, exactly the same machinery as you have. He should be doing relatively the same as you. If he's doing better, then that shows he'd probably be a better driver. If you're doing better, shows you're probably the better driver. Whoever comes out on top of that after a few races is going to kind of take control of the team, similar to we see in real F1, that after a while one driver can sort of steer the way that the car is going, make it suit them more than anyone else. So taking control of the team is massively important to you if you want to progress and you want the team to go the way you want. Interactions with the press, I think, are big in any sport. F1's no exception to that, so we've brought a press into the game in 2 forms. We've got the kind of impromptu press where you've just finished the session, you've maybe done really well or you made them badly, you have a microphone shoved under your nose and it's like, what do you think about that? You could say you've performed really badly and all of a sudden you start to say, oh, it's my fault, absolutely my fault, or I got blocked off at turn whatever. Or maybe you say the team have made a mistake, the car's just no good this weekend. But that in turn is then going to have an effect on the way the team see you and also the way other drivers see you, the way other teams see you. One of the major things we've been working on is a dynamic weather system. So the idea is that over a race weekend the weather will change depending on where you are. If you're at Spa, the weather's going to be really changeable, the likelihood it is going to rain at some stage. Same for somewhere like the UK. But other places, Abu Dhabi, Bahrain, rain's kind of, it's very unlikely. But what that does is give you such a dynamic of the way you play the game. It affects so much the weather in an F1 game because it affects your strategy. All of a sudden you might make a gamble to go onto the certain tyres at the wrong time or the correct time. Like we see in races every other weekend, that just making that one little strategy call, being brave, making a gamble, can either cost you or win you a race that you should never have won. And the system's very advanced. We're calling it active track technology. Basically what it means is that the track knows for every square 30 centimetres how much grip there is, how much rubber there is on the track. If it's offline, it knows how much dust there is, how many marbles. So the track will start off in what's known as a green state with very little rubber on it. Over the course of the weekend it will really build up. The racing line will become really sticky, really full of grip. Offline will be marbles and dust and all that kind of stuff that you don't want to stick to your tyres. So getting on that racing line is really important. If all of a sudden it rains, that'll wash everything away, but also then you have a drying line that you'll need to stick to. and then other areas of the track where you'll get puddles, so it's not just a uniform level of water. What you'll also find then is as it starts to dry, you might have to seek out some puddles or wetter areas to keep your tyres cool, or you make that call and go, I'm going to be the first person to go onto Inters, or even more brave, I'm going to go onto one of the dry compounds. So F1 2010 is available on PS3, Xbox 360 and PC from September this year.